can't say at this point, but can you just talk about Garrett? Seemingly he's been busy today, and on the surface, it looks like he's really helped your team.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've made some pitching acquisitions. Definitely feel like, as you get to this point of the year, just kind of fortifying that area and knowing that, obviously what happened earlier in the year in terms of the injuries and the how it kind of put you in a bind. Thought that this is an area we needed to address, and I think Jed has done that.
The Zeferjahn trade was announced. I was curious, what does adding a guy like him do for your bullpen, especially with the width aspect to his profile?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what he's really good at. And I think he's getting better. I think he's an improving player. It's a talented arm that's kind of got his feet wet in the big leagues and has developed, I think, in the big leagues and has particularly developed even this year. So he's on a good trajectory, and we think it's a really good reliever that we can put into our bullpen and commit innings to.
What Kevin Gausman? When do you think he enters your rotation, and what does he bring to the team?
Well, I think it's just like very dependable, battle-tested guy who nothing's really going to surprise him, shock him, scare him. Obviously, has pitched in huge moments. When he's going to pitch, we're going to wait till he gets here and have a discussion with him about that, and go from there.
When you look at Gausman, the ERA is kind of the thing that stands out from his previous years, but the underlying stuff all looks very similar to his career. How much do you guys kind of look at that stuff and say, it looks like he's been a similar pitcher to his track record this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think ERAs fluctuate because of things that you try to kind of get rid of sometimes in terms of when you're doing evaluations. But really, for that reason, said he's been a durable, battle-tested starter that really fits. It's 10 starts and hopefully some starts later than that. Fits everything that we're looking for.
How much does it matter that he played in the World Series last year?
Yeah, I mean, that goes to the battle-tested for sure. I mean, he's. I hope it matters. Yeah, that'd be great.
How would it affect Javi and Ray?
That's some of the things we got to figure out here in the coming days in terms of when guys are getting here, how they what the order is, things like that. I mean, it's going to affect some guys, no question about it. But I think we need to address depth in terms of like things that can happen over the next 2 months. That was very important. Things are still going to happen. I think we know that. And I think now we feel prepared for that.
Could you go with 6, or is it too early?
I think we will go with 6 at certain times. Yes. Every time through, no, we will not. No, we can't do that. It puts too much on the bullpen.
How much did the postseason experience last year inform that need for making sure that depth is attacked right now?
I mean, I think this season. I mean, yeah. I mean, I would say the during the season informed it probably. Look. You can get to the same place in 60 games, as we were last year. That's what happens with pitching. So it's just a lesson that you get taught every single year about starting pitching. It's really hard to advance far, and it's hard to get to the place if you just don't have it. It's really hard.
What does a guy like Braxton Garrett give you, and he's at AAA now?
Yeah.
What about his profile stood out?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just another layer of depth. I think there's some thought about it for next year that makes sense for us. And it's a pitcher that has had a very good major league season that we've been interested in for a while. Yeah, I mean, I think, look, I said this yesterday, and like, I really love how this group goes about every day, and I think, they're not seeking validation for that. They're going to do that no matter what's going on. But I think, I think there's some belief that's shown in the group here, and what we can accomplish. With the caliber of people that are coming here. And I think that fires everybody up for sure. And that part's important. And then, the other part is that sometimes this is just like, these things are not, it's not easy to put these things together. I want to just emphasize that. And you have to make difficult decisions, and you have to give up good players, and that all has to fit and make sense. So it's, putting it together is not easy, and credit to Jed for doing that.
One of those lines Ballesteros showed you last year, that maybe this year you had ups and downs. So how hard was that decision given how young he is and the upside that he?
Yeah, I mean, it's that's a good young player that you're giving up. I think that's a hard thing to do. I think Moises is a talented hitter. I think there's some things that have happened in player development this year with other guys that give us an encouragement that we have other guys that maybe can, be part of it.